Well, friends, Judge Aileen Cannon does yet another favor for Donald Trump. Let's talk about that because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, I don't know if this will be the last chapter in the saga of Aileen and Donnie, but I do know that this chapter has a really unhappy ending. Unhappy for the rule of law, unhappy for our national security, and unhappy for the American people. Let's start with the new reporting. This from CNN. Headline: Judge Aileen Cannon says Justice Department can't share Trump classified documents report with Congress. And that article begins, Judge Aileen Cannon on Tuesday extended the hold she has placed on blocking the Justice Department from sharing Special Counsel Jack Smith's report on his investigation into President Donald Trump's mishandling of classified documents with members of Congress. Her order took some jabs at the prosecutors, representing the position of former Attorney General Merrick Garland, accusing them of misleading her at a court hearing Friday and asserting that they've failed to live up to the special role they play in the criminal justice system. Before Trump's inauguration, Garland sought to share the report privately and confidentially with a small group of lawmakers on the House and Senate Judiciary Committees on the condition that they do not disclose what they learned from it. On Tuesday, Cannon embraced arguments put forward by Trump's former co-defendants, Walt Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, two employees of his charged with obstruction-related crimes, that even limited disclosure could prejudice them if their cases ever went to trial. Cannon dismissed the prosecution last summer on the grounds that Smith was unconstitutionally appointed, but that ruling is on appeal, leaving the possibility that the charges could be revived. Now, friends, I don't know if Judge Aileen Cannon is in the running to be Supreme Court Justice, but based on the next quote, it looks like maybe she's angling to be Queen of Snark. All my editorial addition. Quote, the bare wishes of one attorney general with limited time in office to comply with a non-existent historical practice of releasing special counsel reports to Congress in the pendency of criminal proceedings is not a valid reason, Cannon wrote. So friends, I think snarky is a fair characterization of what Judge Cannon said there. Okay, 3 takeaways. First of all, as we've discussed before, Judge Cannon doesn't even have jurisdiction, doesn't have authority to be presiding over this matter anymore. Why? Well, because she dismissed the case against all 3 defendants, Trump, Nauta, de Oliveira. Now, that dismissal was appealed by the Department of Justice and is now pending before the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the only court that has jurisdiction to act in the case. In fact, I'll quote my friend, fellow legal analyst, and preeminent appellate scholar, Joyce Vance, who wrote the following. The strangest thing about this entire proceeding is that Judge Cannon continues to issue orders when there is no case pending in front of her. That's not how a court's jurisdiction is supposed to work. Second takeaway, it's not at all clear that Judge Cannon has the authority to intervene, to insert herself between 2 other co-equal branches of government, the executive branch, the Department of Justice, and the legislative branch, Congress. The Department of Justice was intending to give over confidentially, not for public disclosure, Volume 2 of Jack Smith's special counsel report documenting the evidence of Donald Trump's classified documents, crimes, obstruction of justice, and violation of our nation's espionage laws. That is a summary of the charges that were indicted by a grand jury against Donald Trump. And the Attorney General decided that to discharge its oversight responsibilities, Congress, the leadership, bipartisan leadership of the House and Senate Judiciary Committees, should have a confidential access to Volume 2. And it's not at all clear that Judge Cannon has the authority to tell one co-equal branch of government, the executive branch, that they cannot assist another co-equal branch of government, the legislative branch, in fulfilling its constitutional oversight obligations. It's not an issue that has been briefed or argued, but it looks like that remains an open issue. Third takeaway. What will happen to these criminal cases now, these federal prosecutions against Walt Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, Donald Trump's two former co-defendants and co-conspirators? Well, when Donald Trump installs his people at the Department of Justice, do you really think his direction to them will be, I want you to continue to aggressively, robustly prosecute my guys, Walt and Carlos? Or do you think it's more likely that he will direct that the Department of Justice dismiss the cases against his two co-conspirators, his former co-defendants? Heck, he might also pardon them. So not only will the cases be killed now, will be dismissed now, but they can never be rebrought in the future if he pardons them, as well as directing the cases against them be dismissed. That's kind of the belt and suspenders of injustice. Might we expect that of Donald Trump and his incoming Department of Justice officials? Now, friends, one last observation. I don't know that we'll be talking about Judge Aileen Cannon much moving forward. Maybe the next time we hear her name is when Donald Trump decides to nominate her to be a Supreme Court justice. Would that shock any of us? I mean, we can certainly hope that doesn't happen, because particularly when it comes to Supreme Court justices, justice matters. Friends, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.